So at i-Tul, as a custom software company, a really common question I get is, can you build my software? Is it possible to build the thing that I'm looking for? And especially my business, my processes, my needs are very unique. Can you make this work? And the answer is yes. In 20 years of business, we've never been stumped. And especially when we're looking at the business data side, connecting systems, client portals, sales systems, estimating, billing, vendor communications, third-party integrations, all of that is very possible, and there's often a lot of different ways to accomplish it. If your business is unique and your processes are just very specific to each customer, we can build that into custom software where sometimes it goes down path A, sometimes path B, and sometimes path C, and sometimes we just need a whole other way into it. Of having those choices of when do we integrate certain fees, when do we integrate certain processes, having all of that is where custom software, in fact, can really shine. We can build very complex calculations, very complex data integrations, and more. We can absolutely build your vision. About the only thing I'm not going to build is games. That's not our cup of tea, and there's people that excel at doing that. But if it's for business data, business communications, software as a service, web-based tools, anything that you've seen out there, I can probably build for you. We have an extensive portfolio, a lot of which you can see online, and if there's a specific thing you're looking for, just ask. We have a lot more, and some of it's covered under some pretty delightful NDAs, but there are things that I can often share after we're under an NDA together. We've worked in just about every industry, everything from shipping, transportation, insurance, healthcare, law, legal, and on and on. So when in doubt, just talk to us and we can find a way. Sometimes people have existing software that they want to integrate with. We can integrate with any third party as long as they give me some kind of front door. The most common one is what's called an API. It's an application programming interface, and it's just a way for two software systems to talk with each other. So if your third-party software has an API, we can absolutely connect with it. Let's say it doesn't, maybe it's a little bit older. I have clients that have some industry-specific software that's from the 80s and is still in production. It's just how the world works sometimes. But we've been able to set up direct data connections, FTP connections, specialized things that go in, and then there's other things like EDI and other technologies for doing connections. Often, sometimes even if it's like we have to do an export and an import, we can still find a way to get there. One area that i-Tul really excels in is we approach these problems very creatively, figuring it out and engineering solutions. Basically, anything that you've seen, we can build. Another common question we'll get is about security. Maybe you're having health information, social securities, financial information, corporate information. All of this can be held quite secure. We have systems that handle a great deal of secure information and even go through annual audits. We've even dealt with software that deals with compliance for the financial industry and the healthcare industry, and this is all fine. One of our clients was a skip tracer, and let me tell you the hoops we had to go to jump through for them. i-Tul has a lot of experience building very secure systems, and it's really built as part of it and planned. As we talk about your specific vision, we can talk about how to address any security concerns. But security should never be a stopping point. It's always just something that needs to be overcome. If we can do our banking online and we can manage our health online, whatever software as a service, business data solution you're looking for can be built with the most security. When you're building a custom system, a really common question is, what do we do with all the different users? Maybe I've got frontline support, back-end support, I've got supervisors, executive teams, technical teams, advisors, vendors, and more. And the answer is we can build custom dashboards for all of the different user roles, so everyone only has access to the parts of the system that they need. Other parts can be locked off, so that way the front desk person isn't seeing the annual financial reports. So everything can be built and tailored towards your specific user roles. And in fact, with our process, we really lead with design. So coming up with those solutions, coming up with the interfaces that the different people need is the key to making sure that all of the right functionality is there. Taking a user-centric approach assures that we build the right tools and roles in for all of your different staff. Sometimes one thing I'll hear from people is that they're afraid that if they build their own system, it won't be as functional, it won't be as easy to use, or as beautiful as something off the shelf. And this is just not a problem. All of our systems, our software systems, are completely custom designed. So it's built for each user. And in fact, it can be more easy to use because each screen is tailored to you. Whereas a platform or a third-party system is built for everyone. They're trying to be all things, or at least a lot of things to a lot of people, so they tend to be a little more generic. But if I'm building a system for Acme Corp, the entire user interface is built specifically for Acme Corp. So the words that we use, the roles that we play, the fields that are available, all of that is tailored specific to your business. Also, every owner, you get to go through that design process with one of my designers, all US based, so there's no language issues, but you get to go through it with one of my designers and really talk through about what you need, including saying, hey, we have a Thursday morning huddle and we're gonna plan for the week. They need a screen that just shows me this specific information. That's the screen we're gonna build for you. Another common concern we have with clients is transparency. Can they see it coming together? What happens if we say we're going to build something, they're afraid we're going to disappear for 6 months and come back with something strange? Our whole process is built precisely to avoid that. Our process is anchored with weekly meetings where you get to talk with the team, you get to see the designs come together through an online system, so you can actually see the designs online, click through them, make sure everything is coming together as you see fit. This is also important because a lot of details, once you see it come together, you're going to think about it differently. You're going to start saying, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we did here? But before I go to this screen, I want a calculator to pull up, or I want to be able to easily get access to this report. And that can all be brought together during the design process. We also build the site on a staging server, so you're able to test and see it come to life. And again, meet with the team, meet with your project managers and your designers and developers every single week to make sure that it's coming along as you see fit, that we can make adjustments. We embrace change. I know that as this system comes together, the conversation that we have in sales, as the system comes to life, there's going to be refinements, there's going to be changes. As you start to see what's possible, the vision grows and refines, and our process is built to embrace that. And we can also be talking about phases. Often we can start having visions and we actually keep track of all of those future things that we want to do. Maybe it's not something we're going to do for the initial launch, but it's something that we can plan for the future. And we always want to be thinking about what is the long-term vision, because if those things are architected in the beginning, then adding them in the future makes a lot of sense. It's like if I'm building a house. Maybe I know long-term that this is going to be a 2-story house with balconies and a pool in the backyard, but I don't have that budget right now. So I'm going to start with a 1-story house. But if I know there's going to be a 2nd story, I can actually architect that foundation to support the 2nd story in the future. The same thing, maybe I'm going to put in a simple yard now, but I can make space for where the pool's going to go. Software is very similar. We can actually start from day one knowing what that long-term vision, even if everything's not getting built from day one. Another question people have is, how do we make a system fun to use? How do we make sure that your team wants to go in and is going to use what is there? I think there's really 2 sides to this. One is people want to use a system that makes their jobs easier. Customers want to use a system that makes their experience with you better. All of that really comes down to functionality and goals, and then having a beautiful user interface that powers that. Another concept is gamification or reward systems, and those can absolutely be built in. There's so many different options. As we talk about your specific idea, we can see which of those concepts would make the most sense and what could be really fun. But I always say for software and websites, as long as each step brings value to the users will be engaged. If you're excited about a custom software idea, the way to start is just to talk about it, to schedule a call. And through our website, you can schedule a Zoom or a call and we can just talk about your idea. I'm happy to sign an NDA first so that you know your ideas are protected. That's very common, and I can send you our standard one. And then we just talk through the dreams and vision and plan the best path to bring your vision to life.
Yeah, you guys can do anything. You can tell the world.
And we have.
Yeah.